Okay, so we're going to go over oil pastels today. What you are going to need for this is you're going to need at least one of each color. Okay, you're going to need brown as well as white and black, and one of the scrapers. Okay, you will be filling out a handout, so if you haven't gotten this already, it's back in the bin. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to go through a couple little of the procedures over here. Then we're going to fill this out, go here, back. Sounds good? Sounds good. All right, and this is going to go on your first available empty page in your media section, okay? All right, so let's talk about how we're going to apply oil pastel. Now, you could pick any color you want, does not matter to me. So when we apply oil pastels, there's a couple of ways. You can apply them nice and light. This is very similar to crayon, okay, kind of look. Oil pastels to me isn't this type of feeling, but this might be something that you might need, all right? Most oil pastels tend to be this heavy-handed look, okay? So nice and thick, all right? By the way, if you mix colors, so I'm going to mix a color. When you mix colors, you kind of want to go in a different direction. It just helps mix the colors together. So I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to go around, and you're probably going to notice some of these little flecks of the oil pastel coming up. If you just kind of like mix them in, it makes it nice and creamier. Beautiful. All right. So nice heavy, gives you a nice solid color. All right. Sgraffito means to scratch. All right. So when you go through, we're going to add in nice and heavy. This is great for adding in some small, fine details, okay? So let's say we're doing some kind of texture, or you wanted to add some kind of something to it, okay? You can scratch into this, all right? I'm going to do a little bit cross-hatching, okay? So it exposes the bottom color. So if I actually did up here, okay, see how it kind of does that? I can see a little bit of the purple, all right? Another thing about this is that if you have an area that you didn't mean to color, you can scratch this out, okay? The oil pastel does stain the paper. It is got a binder, which is oil, okay? So it does stain the paper. So I could actually go over and have a nice clean look, all right? Where over here it mixed, okay? All right, so that's basic applying oil pastel. Couple little things about it, so you can kind of see you do get a thickness of the oil pastels here, all right? So the more you kind of apply, the thicker it does get, all right? Also, side note, which is pretty neat, if you come back to this, let's say tomorrow, okay, the oil pastels do get a little bit harder, okay, feeling. And remember how we did the light pressure? You can actually go on top of oil pastels and give like a light feel over it, all right? Gives it like a nice like texture over it, which is very cool. All right, color wheel. I would suggest that you write these notes. All right, so the color wheel. We're going to be coming and working on this now, and then we will be coming back to this. But we're just going to get into the idea of filling this out. So, color wheel, we have our red, blue, yellow. There are primary colors, okay? We know primary colors are our first. They cannot be mixed, so I'm going to call them first. Secondary colors. Okay, secondary colors are our primary plus a primary. We have the green, orange, violet. Okay. Next we have something called tertiary. Tertiary is a primary plus a secondary. These are all these other ones, okay? Now when we talk about them, we have the primary word go first. So for example, yellow, orange, red violet, or purple. Doesn't matter. Blue violet, blue green, and yellow green, okay? So what I want you to do is you're going to spend a few minutes, and we're just going to go in and we're going to color our color wheel, okay? Now, when you color it in, all right, let me get through my red, all right. Nice. It's not a huge space, so I would prefer you to actually fill it in. All right. When you get into the mixing colors, okay, you might need to mix them like a sandwich. One color, then the other, then back to the other, okay? Also, when you're mixing, you might want to go on a slant, go in a different direction as your original color, okay? So when you're doing this, you're going to have, so it's going to be mixing all that wax. So right now I have the one color, and then you might want to go back over this one and mix it together, okay? So take the time right now, and you're going to just go through the color wheel. We're going to mix all the colors. You can if you want, and I know one question is always asked, should I put one color down before the other? Honestly, I like to put the lighter color down first, but as I'm going to show you right here, doesn't really matter. So I'll put this one right here, and I'll put the orange here, okay? So you can kind of see how it really sometimes makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't. So that's my yellow was first, yellow is second. Kind of makes a difference, right? Yeah. All right, so that's why I kind of do, I'll put my lighter down first. Mixing them in. Sometimes you might have these clumps, and that's fine. All right. One thing I do want to talk about, you see how this is starting to get dirty, okay? Instead of scraping it off, you should never, ever, ever scrape your oil pastels. You want to either just wipe it off with your fingers or take a paper towel and just wipe it off, okay? So let's go through. Let's add this here. Little, tip. I tend to put all my one color down. Then I go to the next. So then we got the green. Okay. Now I'll come back and I'll mix that. I'll put my green down. Here we are. I'll go into my blue. Okay. Alright, so I need to go back and I need to mix this. I'm going to do a little swirls because sometimes it just doesn't always like to mix nice for me. Just because it has all that wax in there. Now you're probably noticing that I have different size oil pastels, and that's okay. Alright. Oh, that is lovely. Put that in. Now, one thing about oil pastels, which I've noticed, okay, is over the years, a lot of people feel like they need to outline, okay, in the beginning with Sharpie. You don't need to, honestly. Oil pastels, when you're talking about like high school students and like professional artists, college, they don't outline in Sharpie, okay? They just draw it, they color it in. That's pretty much it, okay? Oh, I need violet. Sometimes I need that original color. Sometimes it just comes out really nice. Now that's a beautiful color. All right, almost there. So soothing. Oil pastels is my favorite medium. Something about it. I know some people don't like it because it's got that greasiness to it, but honestly, oh, so nice. All right, let's add some red to that last one. Good. I need to mix more purple there. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Now, if you're not done, that's okay. Just pause the video, all right? And then when you're done, we'll continue on. All right, so our next one that I want to kind of color, all right, to mix colors, is brown. I want to show you how you can make different kinds of brown, all all right? So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4 little spots of brown, okay? You don't always have to keep brown to be the one that you have, okay? So first off, we can make different kinds of brown by adding white and brown, black, which is fine. But another thing is adding the primary colors. Okay, so I'm going to add some red and make some brown. Okay, and you're going to get like a reddish brown. Do blue in the next one. Get this nice dark brown. You got yellow. Nice light brown. Okay. I'll put this here. So this one's added red, and plus blue, plus yellow. Okay, so you can change up your browns as well. All right. Okay. So we have this all down. We have how we can mix some colors, basic colors. We know how to apply our pastels. Now let's work on how do we make them go from one color to the next. Okay, blending. Blending is it's so lovely. Once you know how to do it, it's hard to go back, okay? All right, so I would suggest that you pick 2 colors that you know are gonna look nice, okay? So I'm gonna go with, I'll go with these 2, okay? So there's a couple different techniques on how we can actually get them to transition from one color to the next. All right, so first one, smooth effect or smudging. This one, you're gonna get a little messy, okay? So I'm going to take my 2 colors and I'm going to place them next to each other. And you're going to take your finger and you kind of like go back and forth. All right. So what's happening here is I'm like physically moving the wax and it will kind of do that. You got to be careful because if you go too hard, you actually push not the wax, the oil right off. Okay. So you're just kind of like patting it to go back and forth, which is kind of cool. All right. Next, smooth, one direction. So remember how we practiced gradation where it was very heavy and then it got lighter? Well, that's kind of how we're going to do it here. Heavy, light. Okay. Heavy, light. Okay. Now I tend to go back over to just really make it creamy all the way through. Because you don't want those white specks kind of showing through. You want it to like really fill in. Oh, who doesn't love that? That's just beautiful. Oh, I love it. Okay, swirls. Apply it, and same thing. We get lighter and lighter. Softer and softer. All right. Heavy, and we get softer and softer as we go to the other side. Sometimes I just like going over it. Swirls are lovely. It gives it like a texture. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, just falling in love with my artwork. Love it. Okay, so the next one's called feathering, all right? A little bit different. This, we're kind of relying on the lines to mix by themselves. So feathering is straight lines, okay? I'm going to put them heavy on this side, but they're going to stretch across, okay? I'm going to take this and we're going to stretch them into it. And they're going to just magically mix in the middle. Go back one way, go back the other. All right. So they will actually mix by just putting the lines on top of it, okay? Oh, stippling. Okay, so stippling is the idea of many little dots, okay? Please don't bang my oil pastel because you will break them, okay? So they're actually small little dots, okay? The closer the dot, the more color that you're going to get, okay? The more faded out, the lighter color, okay? So let's go with blue. Really heavy. And as it kind of fades in, it kind of spreads out. Beautiful. Okay, So this is typical, just blending from one color to the next, okay? Next, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna get out our black and white, okay? And we're gonna make gradation, okay? Remember what gradation is? I hope so. Gradation is a smooth transition, oh my heavens. Transition between dark and light, all right? So any color, I'm gonna go with purple because apparently I've been in the purple mode. I'm going to add my color in. All right. Now I'm gonna start with white on this side. I'm gonna make it nice and white, and I'm gonna get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. Okay, till I fade out to the center. Black. Be warned, black can overtake a color very fast. Okay, so I'm gonna go very light. And I'm literally just gonna do little streaks of lines. Okay, see how I have streaks of lines? Hold on, I'm gonna zoom in. Streaks of lines. Little lines, little lines, little lines. Okay. Then I'm gonna go back with my oil pastel. And you could do any of these techniques. Maybe you really like the swirling to bring it in. Okay. Then I could take this all the way through here. Okay. Go back in and say, you know what, I really want more white, and I want to swirl it all the way through. So beautiful, right? Okay, to wrap up this lesson, what I would like you to do is I would like you to make gradation, okay, on the primary and the secondary colors, okay? So, just a reminder, okay, tint is adding white. Shade. Yep, you got it. Add black. Okay. You are going to be adding, let me do the red so you kind of know what I'm talking about. I want it to be lighter in the center, fades out. Outside, dark. Okay. There we go. So it looks like we've got gradation of the colors. And by the way, if at any point in time you're like, something's not working, it's not, it's being kind of clunky or whatever, you can always scrape it out and try it again. So in the end, okay, it should look something like this. This is my practice wheel, okay, where it goes dark to light. You're gonna do them on the primaries and the secondaries. Okay, so when you're done, I would highly suggest that you clean your hands up, okay, but they're probably looking quite artsy, all right? Wipe off your oil pastels, all right, so they are not going back into the box dirty. Make sure that you separate them where they belong, okay, and peel off any kind of excess oil pastel from here. And you either tape or you staple this into your sketchbook, okay? And that is it for oil pastels.